From what we've seen so far of this game, things have been pretty rough. Talking to people, and subsequently picking fights, dodging and grazing like hell to achieve our goal of restoring the sunlight, breaking many spell cards, and shaming girls of many origins. However, the buck pretty much stops here. Stage 5s are infamous for being the point where the game spikes dramatically in difficulty. Even on easy, this stage in particular, as well as one other I can remember off the top of my head, can prove to be quite a handful. So we found our way out of Voile and into a long hallway. A very long hallway. Longer than Voile from the looks of it. It looks to be late evening and you can see light shining through windows. Here we come across the main forces of the enemy, so to speak, which later on we find out to be a squadron of fairy maids who are more than happy to open fire on us. An interesting choice, if I may say, but this is Gensokyo and thus prone to overwhelming amounts of estrogen, even in what could be considered a war zone. Shooting at me. No, that's not me. Alright, this is a replay. Okay, here we go. I couldn't understand the latter half of this upcoming mid-boss fight for the longest time. The first half isn't too easy either. Oh, come on, you could have squeezed through that. It's just the little things like that. The first half of this mid-boss fight isn't too easy either, although there's a few ways to go about it, with varying degrees of danger and success. You can try hugging the blue knives for as long as possible, but look out for those kunai. Alternatively, you can try squeezing between the kunai, but then the knives will get in the way too. The easiest method I find, but also the most demanding, is to alternate grazing the walls of blue knives halfway through. It's fairly tricky though, and remember to stay away from the edge of the screen unless the mid-boss is there. And even then, watch yourself. Always watch yourself. Am I telling you how to beat the game? Why am I doing that? Anyway, this card, Misdirection. Oh, this card gave me so much agony as an upstart. The last thing you want to do is panic because more knives are being thrown at you, and that's exactly what I did. I panicked and I lost lives so hard. I remember one time I lost six lives on one go, on this one spell. And yes, that's possible, with the use of continues even. When you lose all your lives, you're opted to use a continue, obviously. Using a continue will reset your score and give you 5 yellow F blocks. I think it's 5. The F stands for full power mode, which when obtained, clears the screen of bullets and gives you your strongest shot possible. You can also do this with the P blocks if you haven't noticed by now, it just takes a while. The only real downside to using a continue I find is that when you do, you can't save replays of your performance. Oh, and you get the bad ending, but I'm more worried about losing 6 lives again, so you shouldn't be worried either. So, after we shoot down a considerable amount of maids, we incur the wrath of the boss, and she offers us a job as a maid. How bizarre. Though knowing Marisa, she's probably not even serious about the opportunity. Ooh, look, a maid, she says, completely ignoring the scores of others she shot down. Next up is Sakuya Izayoi, the chief maid of the Scarlet Devil Mansion. She has the ability to control aspects of time and space, which is, oh my god, awesome.
Indeed.
But she's only ever been seen doing it on a temporary basis.
Yeah.
Well, except for the Scarlet Devil Mansion. I mean, the thing's huge, but it looks small from the inside. The outside, rather.
Yeah, you got... It's like a TARDIS. And Sakuya's a Time Lord, whatever. If I'm not mistaken, when there...
Is it certain? How she's been able to... to do this?
Don't think so. As far as I'm aware, it's just... She always had it.
Well, I've seen some depictions of when she used time stop or whatever. She used a stopwatch.
Mm-hmm. Not really a stopwatch. It's more like one of those pocket watches. Yeah.
Oh, right. Stopwatch. What am I thinking? Oh god.
right.
I might as well mention, because of the official art style differences between the shooters and the fighters, some fans think that she, well,
Pads her bra.
pads her bra. There we go. And that's, well, I sure wouldn't be able to get away with saying something that brash.
Well, glad you asked me, right? Also of note is that because she stops time, and her attack at that point is to throw a bunch of knives, and they go, like, when time resumes, they all go towards you. She's been frequently seen as sort of the Dio Brando in the Touhouverse.
Right! Oh, I can't believe I forgot that. Basically, what Joe's referring to is a time-stopping vampire in another series. JoJo's
Adventure.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. There's this character called Dio Brando that can also stop time and throws knives. So many people see that as a homage to that series. That Sakuya can do all of that. Sakuya is a very tricky person to fight, mainly because of her ability to alter time and space. This will be a recurring annoyance, for me at least, because time stop! Nope, I'm over here. Time stop! Here's some knives in your face! Chaos control, son! You give up yet? Also, you thought you hit me? No, I distorted space and flipped you upside down. It's almost that bad. I don't know if she can actually flip you upside down. So other than the time it takes to utilize this ability, it'll definitely be a major obstacle for beginners. Again, even if you play on easy mode. Unfortunately, if you do play through on easy mode, your game will end right after beating Sakuya. She'll say something really disheartening. She'll be like, "You thought you were impressive? At this level? What a joke. Come back 2 hours earlier." At the same time though, that's your cue to start practicing on normal if you haven't already. Hell, go for hard if you think you can hack it. If you have to use a continue to go on, do it. That's what they're there for. If you really want to get good at a game, like these people that are doing 1 credit clears or 1 CCs as they're commonly referred to, on lunatic difficulty of all things, then you've got to practice, 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 and don't lose heart. That's all I can say really. You can't get good at a game overnight. I don't mean to intimidate, I mean that the human spirit, mind, and skill set can stretch pretty far when pushed to their limits. And if you can learn your limits, you can learn to exceed them. I'm sure you've heard that somewhere before in some cheesy media, but it's all true, especially with video games and practice. Especially with anything in practice, actually. I'm sure even Sakuya threw 1,000 knives every day just to get where she is today, or something like that. Not that I'm telling you to throw knives to play video games, come on, that's just silly. On a relative note, I noted that some players set standards that I find unnecessary, myself included in retrospect. For instance, if said players make a mistake very early in-game, like I did with Icicle Fall, back in Stage 2, they feel a strong urge to restart then and there, because they feel they shouldn't have lost a life there, or they didn't have a certain score, or they didn't capture a certain spell card. Don't beat yourself up over it. You have other lives to fall back on. And who's to say you can't try again after this session? I don't know, maybe this lurks just me. I really dislike giving up on something halfway through, even when the situation looks dire. If anyone, I will fight Sakuya to the bittersweet end, no matter the outcome, for that is... I don't know. But, if we can line ourselves back up with Sakuya, there you go. That won't stop Marisa from whooping this chief maid where it counts. Ironically, I found this one piece of fan art with Sakuya spanking her. It was a bit unsafe too, but that's for another time because we're done with comments on Stage 5. Moving on!